Hello, my name is Deepak Kashyap and we are here to celebrate Montreal Pride 2021. Today, I want to talk to you about something very important, something that I consider to be one of the most important emotional skills ever. I think if we get this skill, somehow most things in our life start to improve. What is this skill? Let's talk about it. I'm not trying to sell you a product. I'm not trying to sell you a service. I'm trying to sell you an idea. Well, let's see if you find yourself convinced by the end of this video. For example, we all have to make choices from the time that we wake up to the time we go to bed. We all have to make choices all day, every day. You're making a choice to watch this video. Thank you, by the way. But arguably, the most important choices that we make in life are the ones that we make when we are faced with painful decisions, painful experiences, thoughts, feelings that are very uncomfortable. That's the choice that we have to make as to how are we going to engage with them. How are we going to engage with ourselves engaging with them? These are some of the most important choices that we will make. They decide the trajectory of our lives to quite an extent. What kind of father, mother, parent we will become. What kind of friend we will be. What kind of lovers we will be. What kind of professionals we will be. It decides a lot about ourselves. So, what is the skill that we're talking about? The skill is called psychological flexibility. Psychological flexibility is the ability to choose how to respond to your environment, to the things happening to you, with a relative degree of emotional freedom. That you choose how do you engage. Do you fight it? Do you try to run away from it? Or do you engage with it? And if you engage with it, what is the nature of that engagement? I'd like to tell you a little story before we go any further into how do we develop psychological flexibility. There was a time in my life when I was coming out. I was filled with anxiety. I was filled with all sorts of fear. I was filled with shame as to how will I tell my parents about it? How will I talk about coming out? How would I talk about being gay? How would I come out? And I recognized that was probably the first time in my life I had a panic attack. I remember lying in bed, covered my head with my own hands, and I did not know where to go from there. I had no idea. It was very painful, and I just decided that I was going to cry. But for some reason, I never felt bad about being gay. I never felt bad about being gay. I always knew it would be difficult for me because society wouldn't understand it, but I never felt bad about being gay. So somewhere I was able to change the posture that I had towards my pain. From this to this. I was able to look at, and it wasn't just the bodily posture, also psychologically, I was able to look at my pain. I wasn't crowded by it, so close to my eyes that I couldn't see the nature of it. I was able to look at it. I was able to engage with it. And how do you engage with it? That is how we're going to talk about. This is the crucial part that we're going to talk about as to how do we develop psychological flexibility. Psychological flexibility is developed by deliberately choosing to neither fight nor run away, but be present as an observer. An observer that is present, non-judgmental, and active. When I say active, I meant deliberate. He's there. He's not being forced to be there. He's there. She's there. They are there. When you look at your pain, you don't automatically assume it's bad. It's something that we shouldn't be having at all. No, you're just present. It hurts and you're present. And this is very counterintuitive. You're not trying to make sense of it. You're not trying to fight the thoughts in your head. You are just there. You hold your pain in the palm of your hand and you observe it. You look at it and you say, here we are. It hurts. It hurts really bad. And the second part of psychological flexibility, the second part of psychological flexibility is being able to be present there with love. Because if we are able to give ourselves the love, the compassion, the dignity that we are asking from others, it becomes a game changer. We no longer engage with our pain in ways that only increases the pain. We're able to engage with our pain, which gives it space to play itself out. Because, you know what? As Stephen Hayes says, love isn't everything. Love is the only thing that you can use to engage with yourself. Take this for example. There are about 16,000 words that we speak on an average every day. We think a lot more, a great deal more than that. And you would see that a lot of these words that we think and speak, very rarely and very few of them are actual facts. Most of them are just opinions, thoughts, random memories. Sometimes the problem is not that we have negative thoughts or self-judgments. The problem is we get hooked onto them. And how do we get hooked onto them? We get hooked onto a negative thought in two ways. One, we think that it is fact, not just it's a thought. When we doubt ourselves, when we look at ourselves as not good enough, we don't think of it as just another thought that my brain's having. We look at it as a fact and we act as if it's a fact. And the second way we get hooked onto a negative emotion is by trying to argue ourselves out of it. So to sort of be able to take the hook out of a certain kind of thinking, certain kind of outlook, an emotional response, is just to be able to observe it mindfully. This is how I feel right now. This is where I am right now. We're those animals who are aware that we're going to die one day. We're not robots. Robots were never born, they're never going to die. They do not know, they don't experience death anxiety. We do. And the only way we deal with death anxiety is by applying the balm of dignity. Can you provide yourself that dignity, that love? Because I do believe, I don't mind repeating it, love isn't everything, it is the only thing. Thank you very much for watching this video. I really appreciate it.